time for Corner Table, our exclusive theater review segment. It features legendary critic John Simon and newcomer Justin Brown. Simon, he wrote for New York Magazine for more than 35 years. He's also been featured in the New York Times, Washington Post, among countless others. Justin, actor and director who is getting started in the critic game. Well, tonight, they take a look at the revival of Miss Saigon.
Hey, John.
Hi.
So today we're at our favorite little corner table at Joe Allen, and we're going to discuss Miss Saigon's revival at Broadway. This is a massive piece of theater. It's part of the Macintosh mega musical movement, and this is the first time that it's been back since '91, specifically because they felt, for whatever reason, that it was a good thing to catapult Ava Noblezada's career. They thought she was the perfect girl to play. Kim, I want to hear what your initial thoughts are on Saigon.
I think she's a big no talent. She looks very mediocre, and she acts very mediocre, but she can sing. But we must get away from the notion that in a musical, if you can sing, you've got it all.
Absolutely.
You do not have it all. That's only one component, and not even perhaps the most important one. Acting may actually be more important than singing, even in a musical. Well, maybe not quite. So Ava, for me, is a nobody.
Well, I think that the things about Saigon that are really exciting are all technical elements with this production. Yeah. And I think that the only standout performance we're getting are out of John Briones and Katie Rose Clark, who's playing, Lord, what is her name?
Ellen.
Ellen, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's a nothing part.
Exactly, it's very short, and they made a whole song for her. Yeah. So which I think is very interesting. The takeaways for me with this production were the choreography, which they keep intact a lot of what Bob Avian did with the original production. And then Jeffrey Garrett was the additional choreographer, who I imagine added a little bit of that kind of gymnastic element to it. Mm-hmm. And the lighting by Bruno Poet, which I thought was a masterclass in lighting. The way that he makes things disappear on that set and the way that they reappear, the silhouettes, the way that things are shaded. If you've ever wanted to see the way a show should be lit, I think it's going to go see Saigon, if for nothing else. I didn't even get to see the helicopter. There was a technical malfunction my day. Saigon is not Saigon without the helicopter, y'all. I know you got to see it.
Yes.
So ultimately, do I feel like Saigon is worth a revival? Sure, I'm a fan of it versus Les Mis. And I think the music is far more thematically consistent and exciting, but it is a melodramatic piece of theater. And Ava is particularly boring. I agree 100%. And can she sing, or is she just a kind of amalgamation of what Lea Salonga sounds like?
Well, we live in a day when microphones do most of the singing.
Absolutely.
And the people seem to be almost appendages to the microphone. And under those circumstances, anybody can be a singer, or even a successful nightclub entertainer, because he or she has a mic, and he has a little bit of a voice, a little bit of a sense of humor, and it's enough. But it's not enough in something like a major musical.
And I think that Alistair Brammer, who's playing Chris, sounds like a 12-year-old. And I don't want that out of a leading man, by any means. I want people to see Saigon because the lighting is gorgeous and incredible, and John is giving a wonderful performance as the engineer. John, how are you feeling about people seeing Saigon?
Well, yes, I do think that John, in a funny way, is as good as Jonathan Pryce was in an unfunny way, in a very sinister way. I sort of like it sinister, but if I do somewhat like it as John does it, I have to admit that it's good, and I do somewhat like it. Certainly he stands out against everybody else in the show. And he's amusing, and he's not sort of one of these self-loving actors. Absolutely. He gives it to you, he doesn't keep it to himself. He does give it to you.
So, go see Saigon, y'all. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Up next, we take a look at some local headlines.